Before we begin, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Have you ever pondered on why certain tasks are often associated with a specific gender? It's a question that has intrigued thinkers, scholars, and ordinary folks like us for centuries. Let's take a step back into history, shall we? Picture a time when our ancestors lived in small, close-knit communities. Men, being physically stronger, were generally responsible for hunting and protecting the group, while women, due to their ability to bear children, were tasked with nurturing and maintaining the homestead. This division of labor was purely practical, based on the physical differences between the sexes. But as societies grew more complex, these roles became more deeply entrenched and expanded beyond just physical tasks. They evolved into dogmatic social constructs that dictated how men and women should behave, what professions they should pursue, and even what emotions they were allowed to express. These traditional gender roles were not, contrary to what some may believe, biologically determined. They were and still are a product of societal norms and expectations. A man isn't inherently better at being a CEO just because he's a man, and a woman isn't naturally more suited to be a nurse just because she's a woman. These are stereotypes that have been perpetuated by society over the years. Now, don't get me wrong, these roles did serve a purpose at one point in time. They provided a structure, a sense of order. But they can also be limiting and restrictive, putting people in boxes and discouraging them from exploring their full potential. For instance, men are often discouraged from showing vulnerability, while women are frequently dissuaded from pursuing leadership positions. These implicit and explicit messages can limit individuals from expressing their true selves and reaching their full potential. Indeed, gender roles have evolved over time, but the question remains, are they still relevant in today's world? It's a question that requires a deep and thoughtful exploration, and that's exactly what we're going to do in the next few scenes. Stay tuned, my friends, because this is a conversation that's long overdue. Well, traditional gender roles do have their merits. Indeed, there is a certain allure to the structure and order that traditional gender roles provide. They offer a well-defined framework within which individuals can operate, making the complexities of life somewhat easier to navigate. You know what to expect, you know what is expected of you, and there's comfort in that predictability. Moreover, traditional roles can bring clarity to relationships. There's no ambiguity about who does what. The man is typically the provider, the woman, the nurturer. This clarity of expectations can eliminate a lot of potential conflict and misunderstanding. It's like having a well-rehearsed dance routine, where each partner knows exactly what steps to take. Furthermore, stability is another positive aspect of traditional gender roles. They provide a sense of continuity and consistency, which can be particularly comforting in a world that is constantly changing and evolving. Knowing that certain things will remain constant can provide a strong foundation upon which to build a relationship. Also, let's not forget that these roles have been shaped by centuries of cultural and societal evolution. They carry the weight of history and tradition, giving us a sense of connection to our past and a shared cultural identity. So it seems like these roles do have some positives. But is that the whole story? On the other hand, these traditional roles come with their own set of drawbacks. While they can provide a sense of structure and familiarity, they also have the potential to stifle individuality and personal growth. Men and women alike can feel the weight of societal expectations, pressuring them into roles that might not align with their true selves. This can lead to a sense of dissatisfaction, as people struggle to reconcile their personal desires with the expectations placed upon them. This pressure can also limit personal freedom and potential. People may find themselves hesitant to pursue certain careers or hobbies simply because they don't fit into the traditional mold. This not only limits individual potential but also restricts societal progress as a whole. After all, innovation and progress often come from those who dare to step outside the norm. Moreover, traditional gender roles can perpetuate inequality. They can enforce harmful stereotypes, furthering the divide between genders. This can breed resentment and conflict as one gender is perceived as having more power or privilege than the other. Furthermore, these roles can contribute to unhealthy dynamics in relationships. They can create power imbalances, with one party feeling oppressed or undervalued. This can lead to tension and conflict, undermining the very foundation of the relationship. It's clear that these roles can also be a source of strain and conflict. In the end, it all boils down to personal preference and choice. This statement encapsulates the essence of the modern approach to gender roles in relationships. Our world today is a vibrant tapestry of diverse individuals, each with their unique strengths, preferences, and circumstances. This diversity is reflected in how couples are choosing to redefine traditional gender roles, tailoring them to fit their lives like a well-worn pair of jeans. Let's take a moment to appreciate the courage it takes to step out of the mold, to look at age-old norms and say, "This doesn't work for me." It's not an easy task, and yet, countless couples are doing it every day. They're looking at their strengths, their preferences, their circumstances, and they're crafting roles that make sense for them. Perhaps the woman in the relationship is a whiz with numbers and has a passion for finance. It might make sense for her to manage the budget and investments. Maybe the man in the relationship has a flair for cooking and finds it therapeutic. He might naturally gravitate towards the kitchen. The point is, it isn't about what society dictates, it's about what works best for the couple. But this process isn't just about identifying strengths and preferences. It's also about communicating, negotiating, and most importantly, respecting each other. It's about having conversations, some of them difficult, and finding common ground. It's about understanding that each person's role in the relationship is equally valuable, no matter how much it deviates from tradition. It's about recognizing that relationships are not a one-size-fits-all scenario. They're as unique as the people in them, therefore the roles within them should be just as unique. They should be a reflection of the individuals and the bond they share. And so, we come full circle. Whether you choose to adhere to these roles or redefine them, the important thing is to find what works best for you and your relationship. After all, the goal is not to conform to societal norms, but to build a relationship that is fulfilling, respectful, and true to who you are.